Attention passionate Chicago, Bears fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Chicago Bears' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Chicago Bears fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Chicago Bears fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. Get ready because the Chicago Bears are in the middle of a significant shakeup this offseason, and it's not just about a new head coach or a draft pick. No, this time the focus is on the roster and the strategic moves that could redefine their offense, and ultimately, their future in the NFL. At the heart of this story is a player who's been making waves, DeAndre Swift. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Swift has shown flashes of brilliance, but consistency has been a struggle for him so far in his career. That's true, but the latest developments suggest that his role with the Bears is not as secure as it might seem, and there's a real possibility that he could be traded sooner rather than later. So, how did we get here? Well, it all starts with the new head coach, Ben Johnson. Yes, the same Ben Johnson who's been making a name for himself in Detroit, leading the Lions' offense with innovative schemes and a clear focus on the ground game. Now, Johnson has taken over as head coach of the Bears, and his offensive mindset is expected to bring a new energy to the team. Coming from the Lions, Johnson has a deep understanding of what it takes to build a balanced, aggressive offense, especially one that emphasizes the run. That's no coincidence, because in Detroit, he's worked closely with talented backs like David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, both of whom have thrived under his system. Now, with Johnson at the helm, the Bears are looking to replicate that success, which means a focus on establishing a dominant ground attack. And that's where DeAndre Swift enters the picture. Currently, Swift is slated to be the RB1 for Chicago this season, but everything points to a very uncertain future for him. Why? Because the Bears are clearly making moves that suggest they're not just looking for a one-year fix. They're building for the long term, and that means competition and potentially trades. Remember, the Bears also drafted Kyle Monangai, a player who has impressed in OTAs, with Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator, speaking very highly of him. If you've been following the offseason stories, you know that Bieniemy has a reputation for developing versatile, explosive backs, and Monangai has caught his eye. This creates a lot of pressure for Swift. Sure, he's been good when healthy, but consistency has been an issue. And with Johnson's offensive philosophy heavily favoring a multi-back approach, think about how he's used Montgomery and Gibbs. You can see why the Bears are not fully committed to Swift as their long-term solution. In fact, the drafting of Monangai hints at a strategic shift. If Swift doesn't produce at a high level, the Bears might decide to make the switch, potentially as early as midseason, giving Monangai the opportunity to step into a more prominent role. Now, let's be real here. Swift has talent, but he's got to prove he can be a workhorse and stay healthy, and that's a tall order given his past injury issues and inconsistency. But why would the Bears consider trading Swift? Well, this is all about maximizing talent and building the best possible team around Caleb Williams. Remember, Chicago made a bold move by drafting Williams, a quarterback with immense potential, but you can't expect that young quarterback to succeed without a solid supporting cast. The offensive line is improving, and there's a clear emphasis on creating a balanced attack, but the running back position is critical. If Swift isn't meeting expectations, the Bears won't hesitate to pivot and invest in Monangai, especially since his style of running aligns well with Johnson's offensive scheme. Plus, with the NFL being a business, and trades happening all the time, DeAndre Swift could find himself wearing a different jersey sooner rather than later. Now, let's take a moment to analyze how this fits into the bigger picture of the Bears' recent history. Over the past few seasons, Chicago has been in a bit of a rebuild mode, trying to find the right pieces to complement their young quarterback and turn around a franchise that's been searching for consistency for quite some time. The arrival of a new coaching staff signals a fresh approach, and that inevitably leads to roster adjustments. Swift, being a talented but somewhat inconsistent player, fits into that puzzle, a piece that might be moved to optimize the overall picture. Remember, the Bears have shown they're not afraid to make bold moves if it means improving their chances of competing at the highest level. Looking ahead, All eyes will be on how DeAndre Swift performs in training camp and preseason. If he starts slow or struggles to adapt to Johnson's system, the writing might be on the wall. The pressure is on him to show that he can be the dynamic back the Bears envisioned when they acquired him. But if he falters, don't be surprised if the Bears pivot quickly, making a trade to bring in Monangai or another promising talent they might be eyeing. It's all about building that depth, that versatility, to give Caleb Williams the best possible chance to succeed in his rookie season and beyond. And let's not forget, this isn't just about one player or one season. It's about setting a new tone, a new identity for the Chicago Bears, one that emphasizes a strong, balanced offense led by a creative coaching staff that's not afraid to make tough decisions. The NFL is a league of constant change, and the Bears are clearly signaling they're ready to do whatever it takes to get back to the top. With Johnson's offensive philosophy, the drafting of Kyle Monangai, and the potential trade of DeAndre Swift, they're laying the groundwork for a new chapter in their history, one that could see them competing for playoff spots and maybe even a Super Bowl in the near future. Now, I know many of you are wondering how all of this will play out in the upcoming season. Will Swift stay and prove his worth, or will the Bears pull the trigger on a trade? Honestly, it's hard to say for sure, but what's clear is they're building a flexible, dynamic backfield that can adapt to what the defense throws at them. With Monangai showing promise and Swift needing to step up, the competition is heating up. Every play in camp and preseason will be scrutinized, and the decisions made over the next few months will shape the team's future. But one thing is for certain, this move signals that the Chicago Bears are serious about winning now and in the future. They're not just sitting back and hoping things will improve on their own. They're actively reshaping their roster, focusing on youth, talent, and versatility. And for us, fans of the Bears, that's incredibly exciting because it means we're on the brink of a new era, one full of hope, new talent, and the possibility of reaching that elusive Super Bowl once again. The road is long, and there will be challenges, but the foundation is being laid right now, and it's an exhilarating time to be a Bears supporter. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Chicago Bears news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So what do you think, Bears fans? Are you excited about the direction the team is heading? Do you believe Swift will turn things around and secure his spot? Or do you think the Bears are already looking ahead to Monangai? Personally, I think we're in for an interesting season full of twists and turns, and I can't wait to see how everything unfolds. One thing is certain, the Chicago Bears are not standing still. They're making bold moves, and that's exactly what we as fans want to see. The future is bright, and the journey has just begun. Keep your eyes on the team, stay tuned for updates, and remember, this is just the beginning of what could be a remarkable chapter for the Bears. And now, Chicago Bears fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Chicago Bears. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Chicago Bears news.